Some of the best work that voice actors can get is the big union scale jobs, and among those are what we call, well, you have three different levels of like commercial work. You have local, it's like a local radio station where you might make $150, $200 maybe to voice a commercial. Then you have regional, and those usually go toward union scale, and that can pay like $1,000 to do a commercial that runs regionally. But what voice actors really want is the national stuff, because union scale national, if you have a commercial that's running coast to coast on radio all over the place, for the same session that takes you 30 minutes to do for a local commercial, you can make $30,000 for a commercial. I don't book very many of those. I have booked a few in the past. When you do, you're very happy because you don't have to worry about your bills for a while. You know what I mean? And among the best paying work out there in union scale is the movie trailers. Do you guys remember Don LaFontaine? Yes. Do you know who he is? He was in a world, in a land before time. Remember that guy? Yeah. Don, God rest his soul, made a lot of money. 7 figures several years in a row because he was so busy doing union scale work like this. So that's what we all want to do. Currently, there's a fellow named Ashton Smith who's doing all the movie trailers you hear for the most part these days. And all of the Blu-ray releases, when you hear him say, available on DVD and Blu-ray Friday. Ashton, he's making bank. That's the kind of work I want to do. So I have a demo for that too. It's, voice actors, you have to have several different demos. Character voices, narrations, commercials, infomercials, hard sell, soft sell, and trailers. And this is my demos for trailers.
From New Line Cinema.
His name is Dennis. He thinks he's from another planet.
It doesn't matter where you come from.
So he thinks he's from Mars, and you're right about Mars. That's great.
As long as you discover
rules of the house. First rule, no girls after 10 p.m.
where you belong.
When you're here at home, it's okay to be from Mars. But when you're out there, you gotta go by Earth rules.
Based on the award-winning sci-fi short story.
There's nothing you can do that would change the way I feel about you.
John Cusack, Amanda Peet, and Joan Cusack. Martian Child.
There's no harm in being a little eccentric.
Rated PG. The government used him as a pawn to influence the world. The corporations thought she was merely a troublemaker. They couldn't have been more wrong. This summer, see Refined and Rachel Weisz in The Constant Gardener, based on the international best-selling thriller by John le Carré. The Constant Gardener, in theaters everywhere August 31st.
Hands up.
A land of heartless men.
We will have Ben Wade convicted and hanged, and we will pay to make it happen.
The code a man lives by.
If you want one word, how could you do it? I decided.
Is the code he could die by.
Call him off.
Russell Crowe.
Why should I? Because you're not all bad. Is that?
310 to Youmacon.
I just realized that last one kind of sounds like Duke Nukem doing a movie trailer, doesn't it? That would be kind of bitchin'. A couple more questions real quick before I move on to another audio clip. What's your question?
With Duke Nukem Forever being in production for 12 years, how many sessions have you ultimately done? And were there any sessions where nothing you did actually made it into the game?
No, there was always something used from each session. They pay me, pretty handsomely for each session, so they don't waste anything. I think for Duke Nukem Forever, it was 3 or 4 sessions. Of course, I knew Duke Nukem Forever was coming out in 2008, but was under a non-disclosure agreement to never speak about it or talk about it. Maybe you've seen clips on the internet from me at like MagFest in Washington, D.C. at a panel where they're saying, are they ever going to do Duke Nukem Forever? And I'm saying, I'm not allowed to speak about that. And the people, the crowd goes, I said, hey, read between the lines, folks. I'm not allowed to talk about it. And then that circulated around the internet, and everybody went, oh my God, they must be doing the game. Jon St just gave it away. It was tough for somebody who can't shut up to not speak about that game coming out for 3 years, especially when fans at conventions were going, yeah, Duke Nukem, that's a loser. It's never going to happen. And I knew, I'd already recorded for it, so biting my tongue was kind of difficult. Something's been used from every session, though. And literally, there was only 3 or 4 sessions for the entire game because they had it scripted and ready to go. And then they just, you know, when they do downloadable content, then I get to record again. And I think newest DLC is just released, isn't it? Yeah? Anybody have it yet? You do? One of the great lines from it. I had eggs for breakfast. Your mom had sausage. I love that. What's the next question? Who's got a microphone?
Are there any roles that you turned down, significant roles that don't fall under the criteria you mentioned at the beginning?
No, I'm a voice whore. I'll do anything for money. Now, sometimes there are a lot of auditions that I won't do because they want a teen or mid-20s male voice. I can't do that. I don't do chick voices. I used to sing black female vocals, believe it or not. I did. I used to produce jingles, and when I needed black female background vocals, I could pitch down the original recording about 5 or 6% and sing in my black female highly vibratoed voice, pitch it back up, and everybody thought that I'd hired girls to sing on the jingle, when in fact it was me. I can't do that anymore though, because the older I get, the lower my voice goes. And I've lost some of that upper range. Some of the characters I used to do, I have a hard time doing these days. I was a stand-in for Charles Fleischer on Roger Rabbit stuff years ago. And I find it very hard to do Roger Rabbit anymore. I mean, I can do the affect of the voice, but the pitch is very, let's say, Eddie, you seem like a very sensible and sober fellow. See, it's not quite there anymore. As my voice gets deeper and I get older, man, I'm just shooting for like movie trailers and the high-paying stuff now. What's the next question? Yes, sir.
Are there any future projects that you want to get involved in?
That I want to get involved in?
Mm-hmm.
Everything that has anything to do with Duke Nukem. I'd love to keep working for Valve Software because they treat me very well. I'd love to do more for Blizzard Entertainment. In fact, I think I'm going to BlizzCon in Anaheim this month. So is it this month? Anybody know? Huh? Oh, that's right. I was out of town and I missed that one. Okay, so I got ToraCon coming up. Anybody going to ToraCon? No? Anybody going to MagFest?
Yeah!
You gonna be at MagFest? God bless you. That's the party, isn't it?
Yes.
And I gotta tell you, Youmacon has been really frickin' cool too. Of all the conventions I've done, this, for me personally, has been one of the best organized, and I've got a great wrangler at this particular con. Joe, stand up for just a second. This guy right here has helped me to get to every event I had to get to on time, and even ran interference for me. And it's all because Youmacon, arranged to have this guy assist me. It's like I've got a personal assistant. So this particular con, very well organized. They really have their act together, and if they invite me back here next year, I'm definitely coming. Okay, next question. Who's got it? Hey, Duke, stand up and show everybody your gear. And on 3, just mouth the words, balls of steel. Okay, turn around, ready? 1, 2, 3, balls of steel. 2 words though, steroids. No, I'm kidding, please don't do that.
I tried to tell my godfather I needed those, but he didn't approve.
I'm glad he didn't, don't do that, don't do that.
I told him it was time for some roid rage, but he didn't listen to me.
What's your question, Duke?
Do you actually speak any different languages? Like that Spanish cut, was that actually you, or was that someone?
No, that was actually me, and I don't actually speak Spanish, but if they send me phonetic spellings and such, I'm capable. In fact, there's a radio station in Sao Paulo, Brazil, I don't know if it's still on because it was many years ago I did this, that needed a liner done and they liked my voice. So they taught me phonetically how to say it. And it went, Brefe, 5 vezes mais potência. Which, that's Portuguese for, now, 5 times the power. Radio Jovem Pol. So, no, I don't actually speak, I speak Sprechen Sie Deutsch, Kleinmädchen. But I do not speak Spanish, but I'll say anything in any language if they send it to me phonetically and pay me for it. What's the next question? Ah, yes, right there, sir.
How hard was it for you to do the phrases and not laugh as soon as you saw what they said?
I think I laughed at every single freaking line. So it took a number of takes to get them right. Some more than others, like that, you know, I had eggs for breakfast, your mom had sausage. Oh man, how can you say that with a straight face? I've said it so many times now that it's no big deal. But the first time, oh man, I laughed my head off. And it takes, you know, it takes a few minutes to calm down. Dead babies, dead babies, dead babies, dead babies. Okay, now I'm pissed again. What's the next question? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. How did Mega 64 stumble upon you for the skit Doug Hugg'em?
Yes. You guys have seen that? Yes. How about a nice Christian side hug? Those guys are in San Diego. And that's how they called me one day in the studio and they said, "Hey John, we're Mega 64 and we're located out here in Lakeside. We've got a studio and we were wondering if you do a parody thing for us." And as it turns out, I was on the way to band rehearsal that night anyway, and my guitar player, his home where we rehearse is 3 miles from the studios that these guys operate. And I said, you know, well, what exactly are you doing? They said, it's a parody. It's a kinder, gentler version of Duke Nukem called Doug Hugg'em. And I said, oh, that sounds funny as hell. I'd love to do it. So for a t-shirt, I drove over to their studios and recorded with them for a day. And then, did you see the video clip of the guy walking around in Pacific Beach, you know, like this? Yeah. Wanting to hug everybody? That was funny shit. I loved it. So I just because they happened to be in my neck of the woods and they called me, that's how that happened. What's next? Who's next?